What it do, YouTube? It's your boy IZ, and what we're gonna talk about today is staying true to yourself. You know, I was just thinking right now when I was taking a shower, and I was just reminding myself, who I am to myself, and pretty much just giving myself reassurance on how far I've come and where I came from, right? And what I want to talk to you guys about today is how to be your own backbone. How to remind yourself that everything's okay as long as you got yourself and you believe in yourself. So pretty much this goes for all aspects of your life, and even with family, bro. This recently I've been spending a lot of time with my family, and I always feel like I don't feel, I know there's this perception that everyone will have of you, even your own family, friends, people you hang out with, people you knew, people you dealt with. They will always remember you from like the last memory that they had when y'all were interacting together, right? And what I've realized is you can't change people's perspective of how they see you. And to be honest with you, it's not even your job to change the way somebody looks at you. It's your job to change the way you look at you. So, with that being said, everyone will have that perception of what they see of you, like this, and that, etc. You used to do this, you used to do that, you used to be this, you used to be this, that. But that's just a perception, right? Once you, like for instance, with myself, I remind myself their perception of me is not my current reality. That makes sense. And you just always have to have it like conscience in your head. You gotta have that voice in your head, your own voice, your best self voice. Just reminding yourself that's not who we are at this moment. That's not who we are going to be tomorrow. Maybe that was who we were yesterday, or maybe that was who we were a year ago, or 6 months ago, or 2 years ago, etc. But what I want you guys to learn from this is staying true to yourself is a big part of you understanding your reality, who you are today, and who you discuss to be tomorrow. What I want you guys to do is start doing this. Start talking to yourself. This is a part of building a relationship with yourself. You have to live in the future, as my mentor once told me. You have to live in the future, but always make sure you're present in the now. You could really have that self awareness through meditation, something I talk about, something I'm going to talk about even more. But meditation teaches you like how to live, how to appreciate the moment, how to be in tune and fluid in the moment right now. And when you have that in your head, like this is who I am right now, this is what I'm doing in my life right now, that perception that people have of you, even your own family, it won't really bother you, but like you'll see it. Like you'll see it, you'll feel it, and you'll be like, damn, they still see me from what I did 6 months ago or 2 months ago, for example. And you just always have to remind yourself, you always have to ground yourself. And like I've talked about in my previous video, it's the time you spend alone. So what you do when you are alone, that's whenever you should sit with yourself and ask yourself, like, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Why did I act out in this manner what about that moment made me act out in this manner? Feel me? Excuse me. So that really just comes from having that self-awareness with yourself and just checking in. I want you guys to try it. Just check in on yourself. Just ask yourself at the end of the day, ask yourself after the week, how did I feel this week? The things that I went through this week, how did I benefit from them? And what did I learn from them? What can I learn from what's happened recently? Right? But yeah, this might be a quick video. This was just really something I had on my mind, like I said, and I just had to remind myself, I got myself. I don't need nobody to define who I am. I don't need nobody to live my day-to-day life. I don't need no one to no one's gonna take care of my well-being, bro. Same thing for you. Nobody's gonna die with you. You are going to die alone, and you need to learn how to depend on yourself. You need to learn how to trust yourself and how to be your backbone, like I said. How to check yourself, like I've talked about before, how to be your biggest critic, your biggest best friend. You do that by having self-awareness, by talking to yourself. The way you talk to yourself, the way you treat yourself is how you're going to treat others. And I've seen that for myself. If I treat somebody with courtesy and respect, I'll receive it back. It's what I'm attracting because that's what I am. But I've noticed people people are ungrateful these days. A lot of people are ungrateful and they just don't appreciate you or you could be doing for them, etc. They just I've seen it. I'm not necessarily dealing with it because I stay away from those type of people and I love them from afar, right? But there's a lot of ungrateful people in this world and it's not your job to be pleasing everybody. It's not your job to go out your way for somebody that won't do it for you. Go out your way for you. You feel me? Put the work in on yourself. Take care of yourself. Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your mental, your heart, your emotions, your spirit, your body, everything. This life is about you. Sure, we gotta deal with family and friends and co-workers and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, none of those people are gonna look after your well-being the way you need to be doing it for yourself. And just remind yourself, look when you look in the mirror, remind yourself, we're good, you know, I got you, we're straight. I'm proud of you for not reacting the way you did. And even if you reacted in a way that you're not proud of, accept it. It's already in the past, you already did it. But you need to be taking that time to reflect, sit down with yourself and reflect. My mentor once said, live your life like you had a camera recording you after yourself, like at the end of just recording you living your day-to-day basis, right? And then at the end of the day, you come home, you sit with that videotape and you sit with yourself and you go over your day on how you moved, how you were talking to people, how you act, right? And by doing so, that's whenever you kind of start seeing things at a like third point of view. So it'll be you people and things you deal with on a day-to-day basis, and then it's you seeing it from like a higher perspective of yourself, and it's just you telling yourself like, this is what we did wrong, this is what we need to work on, and this is what is working for us. And I find when I do that, when I have the time, when I make time for myself, and when I sit down with myself and check in, check up on myself, that's whenever I come to. I have moments like this, like today, when I just see the way people talk to me or the way that people look at me, and it's like they're talking to me from who I was last year or 2 years ago in the past. And then I look at them and it's kind of like, damn, like no matter what I do, no matter what you see, no matter, because with me, it's what you see is what you get. You know, that's who I am right then and there, and that's who I'm gonna be. You know, I'm not a poser. I don't act certain ways to certain people. I treat men and women the same. You know, and I find like a lot of people aren't that way. They have favorites, and then they have people that they just kiss ass for, and they just love to follow for, and they're not really necessarily leading. They're not leading themselves. They aren't leading whenever they're interacting with a woman or with family or with friends, whatever the situation is. And that's not how it should be, bro. You should be in full leadership and full control of your life, of what you can control. That's what you should be focused on, is what you can control, and really just live life off that. You know, that's why I created my own world, as you see right here, and how I have here on my wall. It's my world that I'm living in. I am in charge of how I act, how I present myself, how I deal with situations that come my way, how I am whenever I have my people that I love and care about next to me and behind me. You have to be in full control of your life. And that's just something you want. That's just something that you would want to do. You know, a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people don't think about it this way, that they don't take that accountability like I talked about before. They don't sit with themselves and be like, talk to themselves in a way to where they just say, damn, we acted this way, I should have acted a different way. You know, it's taking that accountability of yourself. You're sitting with yourself and you're taking accountability for the way things went, the way things are going, and the way things need to be. Another thing too is stop wanting. That's another thing that I'm learning is you have to not be you expecting and wanting a certain outcome is most likely not going to work the way you want it to work. You know, God has other plans, the universe has other plans, Mother Nature has other plans, and you know, you can't really expect everything to go perfect. So you have to have a plan for that plan to not go as planned. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be, excuse me, you have to be aware that the plan is not going to go as planned. So you have another plan, right? Which is your backbone, the way you handle things and the way you project, the way you move through certain situations that is presented to you. And I see that a lot of people, they ain't living this way. They're not really aware. They're not really thinking this way. And it's just, it can be lonely. It can be lonely because I'm way ahead of my time. I'm real wise and mature for my age, and I'm perfectly comfortable being alone. And I feel like I'm better off that way. I feel like I'm better off just living my life the way I should be, the way I need to be, not really giving a fuck about how people feel about the things that I do or the things that I say, and really just doing what's best for me. So that's what you need to learn too, is doing what's best for you. Whenever you are dealing with somebody, whether it's a woman, family, friends, co-workers, whatever, you always have to look at it as, is me giving this person or this thing my time of day, my time out of my life clock that we are all living on. We're, me and you and everybody else, we're on time. We're not here forever. Some of us may be here shorter than others. Some of us might be here longer than some. But what you do with your time is most important. So when you start seeing things in the perspective of dealing with this person isn't gonna advance me. Nothing that they have will benefit me to advance to where I need to be. And you also have to talk to yourself. You also have to see it that way for yourself. Like, me dealing with this person right here isn't, it's just not, it's not the right timing. It's all about timing also. It's not the right time for, they aren't ready for what I can present to them at this exact time. But maybe in another time, that's whenever it'll work out. So just look at things dealing with, like I said, dealing with family, women, friends, co-workers. Me giving this person my time of day out of my life clock, what will it do for me? Will it advance me? Can I learn something from you? Are we gonna make any money together? Are we gonna elevate each other and bring the best out of each other? Or are we just gonna sit here, have small talk, gossip, talk about bullshit, talk about stuff that isn't relevant to our lives? That's the way I'm living my life. That's the way I suggest you should live your life. And really, I think that's the way life should be lived. It's just like my mentor talks about, value for value. You are bringing value to this person's life, so they should be bringing value to you. An equal mutual exchange. Just like when dealing with a girl, you want that, you want those feelings and all that shit that you desire, that you crave. You want that to be mutual, right? You want the girl to feel the same way, really more. Like, they're the ones that should be more invested in you. And they're not going to if you haven't even invested in you yet. The man, you haven't sat down with yourself and took accountability for yourself and have that, being that rock for yourself in order to be the rock for her. You know what I'm saying? This is the way I believe things should be. Like my mentor once said, it begins and ends with the man. Everything you do is in your control, bro. So everything that is in your control, you need to focus on. And you need to be the master at everything you are possibly capable of. I believe in you. I believe in myself. I believe in you, and I believe in humanity as a whole. That if you can actually sit with yourself and be truthful with yourself and be real, be authentic to yourself, you'll be living life more happier, bro. You'll be straight. You'll be at peace. You'll have peace of mind. You'll have clarity. I truly do believe that, and I'm living that day in and day out, putting in the work, putting in the reps, having that vision, having nights like today where I reassure myself and I ground myself and I tell myself, we're okay. We aren't who we were yesterday. We aren't who we were last week. That's not you. That's just the perception they have of you. That's not who you are. take ownership. Take ownership, take accountability, focus on what you can control, and be that rock. Be that rock for yourself. I mean, you have to, bro. How are you going to deal with somebody and say you are going to be loyal to them? How you're going to say, I have your back, you can trust me? How are you going to present that to somebody else, especially a woman, if you ain't even doing that for you? You aren't having these conversations with yourself to tell yourself, I got you, bro. No matter what we're going through, we will push through and we will get through it. And I got you. I'm your rock. How does this make sense to you? I hope it does, because you cannot be something for somebody else without you being that for yourself. And I will be teaching more on the self this entire time I am existing and able to make these videos for you guys. And if this really does resonate with you, and if you really believe that this you can benefit from being here, from giving me your precious time of your life clock, I appreciate you. I welcome you. And make sure you like the video, you subscribe, you leave a comment, and you share. Spread the message. This is gonna be a different channel. This is gonna be a safe place, like I put in my description. This is me presenting my world to you guys and just allowing you with open arms to join me in this journey of life, living the way I believe. And take that back. Living the way I live my life, and you seeing that and living your life the way you want to live it, right? You creating your universe, you creating your world, and you just having them principles and boundaries and standards, that dignity, that integrity for yourself. Having your foundation. I have over here on my wall my foundation of life, and it's me and God. Me and God, first things first. It's just me and God. That's all I have. That's all I really need, to be real with you. I love my family to death. I appreciate every single last one of them. I love them with every ounce of blood in my system, and I will drop dead for any of them anytime. But at the end of the day, all I have is me and my creator. So put the work in, believe in yourself, and I believe those that really want that change, that control of their life, that clarity, I believe I can lead you there, and I hope you stick around long enough to see it through. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Run this back. Rewatch this if it doesn't make sense to you. Run it back. Take notes. All that good stuff.